following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Welcome to the show. It's Friday. Welcome to SWBC Mortgage Living Room in Frisco, Texas. Thank you, Wingstop, for letting us bring another episode of this award-winning show, Hanging with the Boys. Shannon Gross, Jesse Holley,
Marconi, baby.
Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, and do we have a treat for you guys in the second segment? We will have an Emmy-nominated interview with Leighton Vander Esch by our own Kurt Daniels. And none of us have seen this interview, so we don't know what we're getting into. So make sure you stay tuned because we will be watching it for the first time as well. How are we feeling today? It's Friday. How you guys feeling?
Man, I tell you what, boy, we 2 days out from a Cowboys victory. Lord Jesus, it's been long and it's been hard, but it's going to be earned, baby. 2 days out from a Cowboys victory. Hope.
You better hope.
Hope. God is dope from what Jesse said, so we got hope.
God is dope, and we need a lot of hope if we think the Cowboys going to get a victory.
Yes, sir. Cowboys got a victory.
They don't win this one, man. It's just... They don't win this one, just throw it in the towel.
Kurt, you started it. You're beginning to be a Debbie Downer, bro.
Sorry, hey, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this week. It's a trap game.
Oh, so Shannon.
You got to be careful.
Stop it.
Got to be careful.
Trap
Stop
game,
it.
Yeah, trap.
Shannon.
You actually have to be good to make it a trap game. Like you.
Oh, is that
the
is
team?
that how it works?
The team has to be good. Like your team has to be a good team in order for it to be a trap game.
Amari Cooper is good.
He is.
You know, CeeDee Lamb is good.
They ain't playing defense.
All right, let me ask you. Let's get into it. Kurt sent us a group text yesterday, and I think we're all still trying to process it. Nate called me, and we had a long discussion about it. Kurt, what did you send us yesterday? And I want to get everyone's thoughts because first off, tell us what you sent us, and then we'll get into it.
Well, it was a tweet John Machado from the Athletic put out that Coach Mark McCarthy had addressed the team's effort. And that I think Jalen Smith had responded that a couple guys did. Jalen Smith and Ezekiel Elliott both responded that yes, the coach did talk to them about effort. It's not something he should be having to do. Yada yada yada, that sort of thing. I think the question that all raised eyebrows with us was, is this just now happening? Is it just now questioning effort? It was a little bit of a surprise, maybe.
That's my question to you guys. Surely this isn't the first time. This is just the first time that it's being brought up in the media, right? Nate, Jesse?
Nathaniel?
Okay, first of all, when you first read that story, Kurt, and you just repeated it to us, did Zeke and Jalen say yada yada yada? Because that's
No.
Let me finish. Because that's what I got from that. Was all Coach did was yada yada yada. He sounded like the Charlie Brown teacher. Yeah. Because we've been seeing this for 30 weeks. We've been seeing this for 30 weeks. A lack of effort on defense. And for this to be now finally brought out, come on. You know what? Jesse, I'm going to let you speak. Yada, yada, yada. That's all I have to say the rest of the show. Yada, yada, yada.
Maybe I shouldn't have worded it like that.
But that's how it sounds. Yeah. That's how it sounds. 13 weeks later, that don't bother you, Jesse? That don't bother you?
This
team. Jesse trying not to get in trouble.
Just yada yada.
Jesse's made it all. He got 4 weeks left of the season. He almost made it through an entire season. Like he trying not to.
I just don't.
Not to
I don't
give
want
it
to
up.
be reassigned. I don't want to be reassigned. Okay.
Because your last option is with Mickey.
You know what I'm saying? And that's you might well go ahead and take my badge and all that other good stuff.
Yeah. Well, you remember that after the Browns game, McCarthy was quoted as saying we don't have an effort issue. But now after the Baltimore game, he felt the need
Kurt,
to address
don't do that. Don't feed Jesse. Don't feed Jesse. I can see how he started to bite on his nails and how he started to think. Jesse, we need a response. This is a show where we need your voice. You're the voice of reason.
I know, but see, these are the moments where my voice has historically gotten me in trouble. Okay, these are the points in times where I say things, and you know, once they get into the atmosphere, we live in a social media age where those things don't disappear.
Right.
And so this team,
take your time, Gospel. Take your time.
Deacon.
Go ahead on.
What's this is self-preservation, guys. That's the word that I'm going to use. This is
self-preservation.
For who? The coaches or the players?
Both.
Or you.
Okay.
Both. And for me. And for me. I'd much rather respond to the group text than respond to, but here's the thing. And Nate, you and I, we've elaborated on this many a times before. We should never have to talk about effort when it comes to professional football players. Never. Like, that should be the last thing any player should ever have to talk about. When I say the very last, I do mean like wherever the sentence ends and there's a period or exclamation point, then we should talk about effort. You get paid to play a child's game. Now, while it's dangerous and it requires a ton of sacrifice and a ton of determination and I'm not going to say effort, but effort. You don't have to say it. You don't have to be a first round talent. You don't have to be world class speed. You don't have to be you don't have to lift the weight room. There's certain things that you don't need any of those extras to have effort. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Tyreek Hill, he runs a 4.3. Wow. You know, everyone's not blessed to run a 4.3. You know, Larry Allen can lift 2 houses. Woof.
Right.
Man, everyone's ever not allowed to lift 2 houses. Man, this quarterback has an arm that can make every throw. Woof. You know, he can throw the ball 70 yards. Man, that's great. Boy, this running back has such great vision. Man, it's only about 3 in our lifetime that we ever seen him be able to run like that. Those type of things. When you talk about effort, I feel like Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice, not a game. We're talking about effort. In week 13 of a professional NFL team, we're talking about effort. Effort. I give you a fat check every single week, and we have to sit here and talk about you giving effort. Not that you can't run fast or you can't catch or you can't tackle. We're talking about effort. And this is what I mean when I say you gotta clean house. You have to clean house because this is an infected place with and if it's not addressed and if you're not going to, we become the medicine for other teams. If you're not going to prescribe something for your own locker room and cleaning out those cancerous things, then you'll keep talking about this. Nate, you said we talked about this for 30 months. That ain't a hyperbole. That ain't an exaggeration. We talked about this last year. Right? So we keep having these effort, execution, hero ball. When you keep hearing these same things over and over and over, it's infectious in the wrong way. It's spreading And the more guys, especially the guys who are supposed to be the leaders of your team, who are displaying these cancerous characteristics, the more of those guys you have in your locker room in a leadership position, the more deadly the cancerous things spread. And the more it gets into other guys, and the more it becomes more and more of a bad thing for your football team. And so you have to be able to eliminate those things and bring in new life and bring in new energy, and don't have to ever question effort. If I'm questioning effort in week 13 of the season, the ship has sunk. This thing is dead and over. There is no coming back from this. If we're talking about effort from professional football players in week 13 in the National Football League, that's my PG take on effort.
Yeah. Is this something that obviously the coach has waited too long to maybe address it? Is this something that the player leadership, you're saying, should have addressed it way beforehand? Is it a case where guys pull somebody aside and say, hey, you're just not giving effort, or are they standing up in the locker room and calling guys out, yelling?
Your leaders are the ones who are the ones having effort problems.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Your leaders are the ones who have the effort problems, and that's the thing. Is when I heard Michael Irvin talking about this morning, and they talked about Mike, you were this figure in the locker room where people listened to, but yeah, because Mike went out there and was putting out. Mike was the leader, not he. You didn't have, and Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. You just didn't have no Joe Blow standing up in front of the locker room saying stuff.
He also led by example.
Because we had strong enough alpha males in our locker room. If you were the wrong guy to stand up, they had a loud guy. We had 2 loud guys in our locker room. And if you were the wrong guy to stand up and say something, number one, his name was Kevin Gogan, and his name was Nate Newton. And if you were the wrong guy who got up and said something, one of us would look at each other and say, you going to handle this? We would say, man, get your somewhere and sit down. But now,
really?
If Michael Irvin got up, or Troy Aikman got up, Charles Haley got up, we fell silent. Because we knew that they cared about winning, and they did things in the proper and right manner professionally to win games. That's it. It wasn't but a few guys in our locker room. Now, during the game, we would have different guys, give input. But you didn't hold court in our locker room unless you were a guy of authority, because you were talking to a bunch of rude, obnoxious, alpha dominant males.
Right. And that's the thing.
Did you have anybody like that in your generation of players, Jesse, that kind of held sway over the locker room?
Yeah. When I was with the Cowboys, you had guys like Brady James, you had guys like Keith Brooking, you had guys like DeMarcus Ware, and you had players like that. You had Colombo, you had Leonard. I mean, you had guys who, when they spoke, you listened.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You had guys like Jason Witten. When you spoke, they listened because you knew where they were coming from. You knew that when Jason Witten didn't miss a practice. Jason Witten wasn't trying to weasel out of a practice. So Jason Witten, you never had an effort issue with Jason Witten. So when he said certain things, you listened. Right? DeMarcus Ware the same way. You guys, guys like Brady James the same way. These guys, where their heart and their intentions are at, and they show it on the football field. But these other guys, there was never an effort issue. There was never an effort issue with Keith Brookings when I was there. No. There was never an effort issue with guys like DeMarcus Ware when I was there. So when those guys
broke neck, man.
Right, when those guys spoke up, you listened. You heard what they said. The problem with this team is you got the leaders of this team are the ones who have the effort issues. You have the leaders of the team, the one who can't line up right. You have the leaders of this team who rather go and do everything else. And this is one of the things that I struggle with. I do. And Nate and I relate to this. We were bottom of the barrel guys. There wasn't much room for error for us. Okay. We weren't high draft picks. We weren't guys who, initially had big contracts that they gave second and third and fourth and fifth chances to. Now, Nate eventually worked his way up to that point where he became that kind of a player, and much love and respect to him for that. I, for one, never got to that point. So everything that I did, I had to do with a maximum effort. I had to study with the maximum effort. I had to show up with maximum effort. I had to practice with maximum effort. And so when I hear these things coming from players, especially the whole assignment thing, there's no way. When I had questions, I was going to see somebody. Because I had zero room for error. So I want to make sure, hold on, I don't understand this. Let me walk down the hallway. Let me get on the phone and call Joe DeCamillis. Because we got a big game coming up and I only get one chance at a punt. And if I don't get it right and they get it blocked, that might be my tell. Or, you know what, I'm in the rotation this week. Let me walk down the hall and go see Coach Sherman or go see Coach Robinson. Because I want to make sure this lineup is right. And let me ask questions to Coach Garrett as the OC/head coach on practice field about how this should be done. Because if I get an opportunity to do it, I want to make sure it's done right, because my opportunities may come few and far between. This is why I don't give sympathy to guys who are saying, well, I don't know what to do. How the hell do you not know what to do? What are you doing? Like, what are you, like, get off the game. Okay, get off all the other outside stuff that you have going on. You got an off season for that. If you don't understand something, you should be on the horn. You should be in the office. You should be in the face, 6 feet apart, of your linebacker coach, DB coach, defensive line coach, defensive coordinator, because I need answers. I need answers, because if I'm unsure and I don't know, if my film study doesn't reveal the answer to me, then I need to go to the source. I need to go to the one who's implementing. And that's the part I find so hard to understand from these guys when they're saying about confusion and effort and stuff like that. Yeah, what are you doing all day? Because there is. Go ahead,
Jesse. We got to go to break. We'll come back. All right, we come back. We got to get to this Leighton interview. Kurt made it run Jesse. Long, so we had to cut you off. Good stuff, Jesse. Good stuff. We'll be right back.
You're dope,
Leighton Vander Esch on Hanging with the Boys.
God is dope and dope.
Is your family a Cowboys family? Have you taken holiday photos at the Star? Was your wedding theme blue and silver? Have you convinced your kids them is spelled with a D? If so, every game day feels like a vacation to you, so treat it like one. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys. This is Kurt, and I am winging it here thanks to Wingstop, along with the great Leighton Vander Esch. Leighton, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Normally we have the whole crew here, Nate, Shannon, Jesse, but we're actually doing this interview on a Saturday, which with the strange Tuesday night game is actually a Thursday, isn't it, as far as the team schedule? Is that right?
Yep. We just got done with our batted practice, so that's a Thursday.
Wow. So I know, players are creatures of habit. You have specific times where you need to be here, there, even off the field. Certain guys may have massages on some days or position dinners or whatever. What is this crazy scheduling doing for you? Has it been difficult?
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle, but I think we've managed it pretty well. Obviously, you don't like a schedule change, but it is what it is, and we gotta be able to adjust. And I think that's what the game of football is, and how this whole season has been. It's been a lot of adjusting, and adjusting on the fly. We've been doing our best with that, and it comes with its struggles, but I think we've managed that pretty well this week, and we're just making our correct adjustments for each day.
You've been kind of on a mini bye week here because of the scheduling. Has it been good in terms of getting some rest, or does a team like this with the new staff and younger players and no off season, do you kind of wish you had that practice time?
The rest is nice, but honestly, I would have just preferred to keep our normal schedule. I know we couldn't do that, but we had a few days off. He let us get away to our families. And so we just we dealt with that, and then we've been practicing. We got an extra practice in this week for it, so I think we're ahead, and we're rolling. So we're just getting our stuff in and making the corrections and going out the next day too.
I guess the tough part then, though, could come on the back end when you have to play Tuesday, then Sunday. Is that something you guys are already kind of looking ahead to?
Yeah, we just had a short week too. So that was another reason why I said I wish we could have just stuck to a normal schedule. But I know we're just subject to what the league does, and so now we're right back to another short week right after this. So it's a grinder, November and December. Yeah. So now it's leaking further into December. So we gotta make do with what we have and go out there and make the best of it and keep grinding because we know how to do that.
Are you not? They always talk about the rookie wall. You're 2 years in now. Are you kind of used to the grind? Are you used to the schedule now?
Oh yeah,
3 years.
The first year was 3. The first year was extremely long, just because you go right into combine training right after your season, and then you go into your draft stuff, and you go right into OTAs and training camp, and then right into your first season. That first NFL season is so much longer compared to college. And so when you get into November, you're at the end of it, but it seems like you have so much more to go. And so, that was quite the year. But now at this point, I think you kind of settle in, and you kind of just take things 1 week at a time. The weeks go by so much faster in the NFL than they do college for me, that I can remember. And so, you just take it week by week, just take things slow because they fly by. And you got to be focused. You got to be ready for that week that you're in. So, and before you know it, you're in week 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, and I would think they'd be flying by even more this year because new coaching staff, Mike Nolan trying to put in some new things, and you had no off season, you had no preseason. How much of a difficult has that been? And are you now? Do you feel like you're kind of reaching that point where maybe we're getting where we want to be?
Yeah. Not having the off season was a little bit difficult. And that was just another adjustment on the fly. Like we had to, making do with what we could. And so, it was a struggle not being able to practice that stuff right off the bat, but I think we're getting a really good handle on it now, and we're starting to gain an identity and just in play style and how we play. So that's good for us, and I know we're making strides and we're doing some good things. There's still a lot to clean up, as always. You never made it, so we just keep continuing to battle and sticking together. That's the biggest thing, and we're headed in the right direction.
It seems like one of the toughest positions on the field is to me, has got to be linebacker, because you're not in full coverage all the time. You're not rushing the quarterback all the time. You got to do a little bit of both, or you're going to charge the running back, you're going to drop back in coverage, that sort of thing. Has it been do you like that kind of a challenge? Is it difficult, or do you sometimes just let me go get the ball carrier and that's it?
Yeah, I love the challenge. Honestly, I want to be put in a difficult situation because I know that makes me better. If everything was easy, or if the majority of the game was easy, you would probably start to slough off and you wouldn't start gaining ground or improving at all. And with the time I missed the last season and even the beginning of this season, it's been tough. But I mean, you learn to embrace that challenge I have and enjoy it. It's all part of the process. You got to trust God's plan for what He has going for you, and I think that's just what I've been trying to do. And so, just being a leader, taking on that challenge, embracing it, and showing the guys like, hey, I'm here for all you guys, and I'm gonna do my best for you guys. And I'm gonna go all out on game day.
Much of that challenge is the physical part of it, just the having the talent to be where you need to be and that sort of thing. And how much of it is the mental part of it, where the communication, the leadership, that aspect of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you train all off season. I mean, you train a lot of off season physically to get your body ready for the season. So a lot of that work is already done, and then once you get in the season, you're kind of just maintaining, obviously, because it's hard to gain strength at that point. But the mental part really kicks in, and you gotta really focus on that aspect of the game once you get into the season, and that part really takes off, and you got to keep up with that because it's not like you're playing the same team every week. You have new challenges, and I mean there are some copycat teams, and they do some copycat schemes, and everybody's going to do some of the similar stuff, but they all have their own little twist to it. So the quicker you can point those things out, and the quicker you can get on top of that, it makes your week of practice easier. And you can really just start focusing on your keys on the practice field to get you going.
I think most people probably know your story. It's pretty incredible starting out at 8-man football, such a small town. But you've kind of said that 8-man football may have helped you prepare because it was wide open game. Finding the ball carrier and playing offense too. I mean, did it really help you as far as getting where you are now?
100%. I mean, some people might say I'm crazy for saying that, but they're ones that didn't play 8-man football. So, I mean, the ones that know. And I'm going to go to bat for all those kids that are playing 8-man football and that grew up doing that. I mean, they need to follow their dreams because they can do it. Just because you play 8-man football don't mean anything. I mean, it makes you an all-around athlete. You can do multiple things. Heck, I mean, if you got injuries on your team, you move to the next position and you help your team out. That's just what it is. So I think that makes you valuable as an athlete. It helps you grow as an athlete, and you start to understand the pieces of the game, regardless of whether you're missing 3 people on offense and 3 people on defense.
Yeah. And you were the star quarterback. Do you ever miss the offensive side of the ball, getting to throw it around a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of got that out of my system pretty quick once I started playing in college. But, I mean, I loved quarterback. I always will. But, I mean, there's another thing about linebacker. You're the quarterback of the defense. So it's its own challenge in itself, and you got to take pride in that.
Well, it sounds like that your 3 sisters were big into basketball, and you were a stud basketball player, won a couple of state championships. Was basketball actually kind of king in your household growing up?
100%. If you probably would have talked to the majority of people, if you asked 10 people that knew me, 9 out of 10 probably would have chose me to play basketball in college than football. But I always wanted to play football at Boise State, and I got the opportunity to walk on there because I didn't have any D1 offers. So that was it was automatic for me, and I knew I could make the most out of that if I went and did that. But basketball was definitely a big part of my family's life. All my sisters played, and that was some of my favorite moments growing up as a kid, and being their little brother, watching them play in high school and then go on to college and play, and just watching them win state championships and just doing what they loved. And so they had an absolute blast doing that, and I had an absolute blast watching them. And so just following in their shoes, I learned so much from them, and I love every single one of them. And so I just can't thank them enough for kind of just teaching me the way. We butted heads a little bit on the way when we were younger, but And growing up with 3 older sisters ain't easy by any means.
Hell yeah.
But
yeah.
it was fun.
Were you the annoying little brother who tagged along to the gym and all that sort of thing?
Oh gosh, I would like to not think so. But I mean, you'd have to ask them. I think they enjoyed having me. If we were going to the gym and some basketball, they always taught me stuff, and I think they enjoyed having me around in that aspect. But I'm sure I got a little annoying at times, as any younger sibling probably would. But
sure.
I mean, we were all pretty close growing up.
Yeah. Now they were, again, 3 older sisters, and they were a bit older than you. I think you're 6 years younger than your youngest sister, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Were you,
Yep.
doted on? Were you spoiled, or were you their kind of guinea pig to pick on and dress up and do all those such little things that little brothers get handed?
I was spoiled. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I was spoiled, and I think they would probably all say that too. But I mean, at the time, I didn't want to admit it, but now I look back and I'm like, yeah, I probably was spoiled quite a bit. But they spoiled me too. Yeah, I mean, it was all just fun and games, and like I said, I mean, sometimes we got into it, and yeah, they would throw that in my face that, oh, you're spoiled, and you just get whatever you want. But that's just what siblings do.
Sure. So you never really gave a thought to, I mean, I imagine you had some offers to some smaller schools. You never gave serious thought to going as a quarterback or going as a basketball player to a smaller school?
I did. I had way more offers to play basketball than I did football. And then all my football offers were all NAIA smaller schools. But I grew up watching Boise State and going to a lot of their games with my friends and with my high school coach, and he coached me all the way through elementary, junior high, and high school in football. And I played with his 2 younger boys. One was a year older than me, and one was a year younger. And so we became really close. And I went to a lot of the Boise State games with them and got really familiar with Boise, and just being 2.5 hours north, that's where I wanted to play. So when I got the opportunity to go there and walk on, it was like there was not even a doubt in my mind that I couldn't go in there and earn a scholarship. And I just knew that if I followed my roots and the way I handled myself and just went in there and competed every single day and worked my hardest, that things would work out. And I knew that would give me the best shot to go on and live my dream playing in the National Football League. And so I just did everything I could to make that happen.
Yeah. I was reading some. Charlie Shepard, that was your high school coach, right? I was reading some about him.
Yep.
Sounds like, you think a 8-man coach in the middle of Idaho, but, what kind of scene was that? But it sounds like he really was a big impact on you and your life there.
Absolutely. I mean, we still talk about football to this day, and he coached there they won 2 state championships after I left right off the bat, or maybe it was 3. But I mean, he's a great football coach, and he understands football. And growing up with his 2 boys that were like my best friends growing up, and I still stay in contact with both of them very, very much. It was evident that he knew what he was doing, and he could get everybody, and he could use and put things in the right pieces, or pieces in the right places when it came to game day or depending on the year. Because I mean, you would think that you would lose some of your best players, and with 8-man football, you don't have a lot to pick from. But I mean, he kept that thing going right away, and never really stepped off. And he coached. I don't even know. He coached forever. But I mean, he's awesome, and I know that he definitely had a big impact on my career. Like I said, I couldn't play football until I was in 6th grade in junior high. So the first chance I got, I was all over it, and then it was just year by year and just going up from there.
Yeah, and he said in an interview I saw that he never really had any doubt that you could play at the next level. But I got to wonder, you walk on to a big D1 school, big program, and you were probably, it sounds like, a little undersized at the time. Did Did you kind of wonder, like, wow, what have I got myself into?
At first, yeah. I mean, Avalos, my linebacker coach at Boise State, then the D coordinator. I mean, he kind of found me. He showed up at high school one day, and I got called to the office, and I was thinking, I was like, I don't think I did anything wrong. Like, why am I getting called to the office? So I stepped out in the hall, and I saw a guy down at the end of the hallway by the office, dressed in blue, with his Boise gear on, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, there's no way this can be happening right now. And the first things he said to me, he was like, he introduced himself and was like, we don't know very much about you, but people are talking about you in the Valley and saying that we need to come get you. So he gave me a brochure to their camp and invited me there so they could get me on the field and see me run around a little bit. And then I had to make a highlight film and send them some film from high school ball. And then they offered me a walk-on after my senior year of football, and I took that right away. But he saw something in me, and as much as I wanted to play quarterback, he was like, "No, you're gonna come and play linebacker. The way you run around the field and just how you cover ground, your athleticism is gonna make you a great linebacker." And so I trusted him. I had no reason not to trust him. I mean, he came and found me, so. I knew that I trusted that he knew what he was doing, and he coached me extremely hard, and he kind of became like a father figure to me as well while I was in college. And again, I mean, he's a D coordinator at Oregon now, but the dude's like a second father to me, and I love that guy to death. He's taught me so much, still teaches me so much, and he told me, he was like, you come in and bust your butt every day, and you're going to earn something. So, and after 9 months, I don't even think I didn't even play a snap of football yet. And they put me on scholarship before my freshman year. And then it was just gaining ground. I was definitely undersized. I was about $195, 200, same height as I am now. Hardly ever lifted an ounce of weight in my life. And that first year I put on 30 pounds. My body just absorbed everything. That thing just bought into the weight program that they had and just eating everything that I could eat. And it was just absorbing everything.
Sound like you enjoyed it, though, that whole process.
100%. It was, there's so many things that I can look back on and that I'm just blown away by and how things turned out. But then again, I knew that I was going to work my absolute hardest to make the things happen, and I had the right people around me to help me, and I got to give so much credit to them. But it was just it's been such an enjoyable time, and now like I'm playing for the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, and I didn't want to go anywhere else, and this is right where I want to be, and I absolutely love this team. I love this place. I love this city. And I just love being here, and I love being able to play pro football here.
See you.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for hanging with the boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
We are back, at least most of us. Our beloved leader, Shannon, has had some technical difficulties, so it is just myself, Nate, and Jesse sporting the tie-dye now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Change clothes on them right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Friday fun here. Thank you again to Leighton Vander Esch for taking up a lot of his valuable time. I apologize for going so long. Chris got so sick, I bet he just cut us off and went to break. So appreciate it. So we're only left with a few minutes here, fellas, to give our in-depth breakdown of the Cincinnati Bengals. So I guess, what are you guys expecting Sunday? What are you expecting to see? What do you think the Cowboys can do against the Bengals?
I'll be quick, Jess. The Bengals did not have a running game, but they're playing the Dallas Cowboys, so they will all of a sudden develop a running game. Bernard, number 25.
Gio Tar Heel. Giovanni Bernard.
He is a nice running back when handing the ball out of the backfield, but he is an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield. So for us to have some success this week, we have to slow him down. Now, them guys outside, I'll let Jesse worry about. But this guy here is a game changer if you can get him that ball in open space. So we have to tackle well. And somehow, somewhere, I said it the other day and I say it again, we have to control the middle of the field, whether it's versus the run or versus the pass. We as a defense have to control the middle of the field.
We got to do what? We got to do what?
Control the middle of. We've had runs of 37, 37, 37, 27.
I almost choked. I literally almost choked.
Look at the middle of our run chart, man. They're slashing us, man. In the middle of our field, it's between the numbers, man. Look at the runs that we've had this year. I'm being honest. If you don't control the middle of the field, we're not going to be competitive.
No, I'm not laughing at you. Right. I'm not doing that. I'm laughing at the fact that you think in week 14 that all of a sudden.
Yeah. What can they do?
See, Jesse, you ain't right, man. You ain't right. The coach just gave a hell of a speech about being.
The effort's going to come out.
You're not right. The effort will shine, Jesse.
That's what's going to happen. What was the stat that Baltimore? Y'all aren't believing. You're not believing in this.
I believe in man, but Jesse, this tie-dye shirt, now we all laughing up.
They said,
Kurt, what do you think, Kurt?
They said we got to cover running backs in space. They said we got to control the middle of the field. What makes you believe that in week 14
Wow. I believe.
You believe? What was that stat that Baltimore had more 30-yard runs in that game than Zeke has in the last 3 years? Was that the stat I saw?
See, look at you joining in. Don't join in. Don't feed Jesse, man. Don't feed Jesse. Come on.
They said, "Oh man, you really got me in tears,
we have to
bro."
But in order for us to be competitive, I ain't said win the game, but in order for us to be competitive. I'm going to be quiet. Go ahead on, Jesse.
What about the receivers, Jesse? Tell us something about the receivers.
Come on, Jesse. Come on, man. Come on.
No, because Nate, you've come to the point where you're saying, I'm not talking about winning the game. I just want us to be competitive. Like you're talking about a team. We've lost all hope about winning football games. We're to the point now. I'm not fake laughing. This is real laugh, and I'm crying because we're talking about an NFL team here, and we're wishing and hoping for things in week 13 that should have been established in the preseason. This should have been established in the first couple of weeks. And so we still can't cover backs out of the backfield. What do we face? A back who's really good out of the backfield as a receiver. We can't control the middle of the field. I guarantee you, Nate, I guarantee you a ribeye that they're going to run the ball up the middle of the field. And then we're talking about the guys on the outside, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Especially
this is
with
the best true duo. This is the best true duo we've faced all year. I'm talking about yardage and touchdowns. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they have performed week in and week out great.
I don't know. I won't say the best.
I'm talking about production-wise. Yardage, touchdown, production-wise. They have been the best, I think.
Well,
go back and look at the other. I mean, other guys have gotten better.
Minnesota
as the season went on, but they haven't. But I'm talking about at this point. Is this T.I.?
That's
Shannon. Okay, I thought it was T.I. IT department.
Did I make it? Did I make it back for the end of the show?
You made it, man. Jesse was just
in time to make your picks. Back in time to make your picks.
You know what I did? I didn't want to listen to that terrible ass interview Kurt did, so I just said, "Hey, I'm having computer issues."
It was a good interview, man. It was long, but it was a good interview.
I'm kidding.
Y'all judging. Hey, I put out good effort, man. I was on my game. I was going balls to the wall. I was there. You're judging. You didn't even watch it.
I'm sorry.
We're talking about practice. We're talking about effort.
Wow.
Let's make our picks, fellas. Let's make our picks, man.
All right, I'm ready, man. I am ready. I'm excited.
I got Cincinnati 24, Cowboys 17.
I think the Cowboys are winning this one. I'll take it 21-17.
Nate Newton, I guarantee, as Charles Barkley would say, I guarantee we win this thing by 7 points. I guarantee.
All right.
Yes, sir. Don't you laugh at me, Jesse.
I'm laughing with you, my brother. Never at you, always with you.
Shannon, you there? You picking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cowboys. Cowboys 28, Cincinnati 21, and here's my reasoning. In the words of Nate Newton, because if the Cowboys don't win, it don't matter. It don't matter. The rest of the season don't matter. So I'm gonna pick them just so it matters. And you know what? I think the offense is doing a pretty darn good job. I think Andy Dalton's going to have a really good game. It's all going to come down to the defense. Can they stop them? Can they stop the run game? Are they going to show up?
Middle of the field.
I think they're going to show up just enough to squeak out a game against a bad Cincinnati. I think it's a battle of the bads, and I think Cincinnati's more bad than the Cowboys are bad. So I'm going to go Cowboys 27-21.
We're going to travel all the way to Ohio to be bad. Lord
this
Jesus.
will be the game where we come back next year and say, where did the Cowboys turn it around against Cincinnati? And then we win the next game and the next game.
Oh, wow.
Lord.
Yes,
hey, I like the wardrobe changes, fellas. That's nice. I like it. Looks good.
All right, let's break. Let's go home.
Let's get out of here. All right, fellas. Good show.
Jesse, you can say what you want, but this is the game where we change the fate of the Dallas Cowboys.
Chris, thanks for putting up with
this is what the damn truly breaks right here.
Have fun on your next show. We will see y'all Monday. Victory Monday. The Cowboys.
Tell Mickey Jesse say hello.
Let's go. Peace out. See you next Monday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.